Under Paris is now trending on Netflix, and the new horror movie is a great reminder to watch Blumhouse's divisive $54 million box office hit from this year. The horror genre is consistently popular, with all kinds of original properties finding success due to their low budgets and mass appeal. Under Paris is one of the most recent horror movies to find success on the popular streaming platform, with the Netflix film garnering quite a fan base. However, Under Paris also shares a lot of similarities with a 2024 Blumhouse film that ended up being a box office hit. The 2024 horror film Under Paris comes from director Xavier Gens, with it being one of the director's biggest hits so far. The film follows a scientist who has to figure out a way to stop a shark that is set to cause chaos in Paris, with the film mostly focusing on the Seine River. Under Paris is only the most recent in the long line of the shark horror movie genre that was popularized by Jaws, but unlike most of the other films, Under Paris is actually good, but it also harkens back to a similar Blumhouse film. After Netflix's Under Paris, watch the 2024 horror movie hit Night Swim. Night Swim has a lot of similarities. For fans of Netflix's Under Paris, the logical next movie to watch is the 2024 horror film Night Swim. Directed by Bryce McGuire, Night Swim follows a family who discovers that their swimming pool is haunted, with the supernatural figure who has power over the pool raining terror on the family. While the premise may sound a bit goofy, Night Swim was a big success upon its release in theaters, with it being Blumhouse's biggest hit of the year so far. While Under Paris and Night Swim have pretty different plots, the two horror movies actually share a lot of similarities. Both movies are water-based horror films, with Under Paris focusing on the Seine River and Night Swim focusing on the haunted swimming pool. For viewers who are afraid of water, this could be an absolutely terrifying double feature. On top of that, both movies center on characters who are trying to learn the rules of each film's respective entity in order to defeat it, with Under Paris focusing on a shark and Night Swim focusing on the supernatural pool. Night Swim is still the highest-grossing horror movie of 2024, despite bad reviews. Night Swim made $54.1 million. Night Swim was a pretty divisive film, and despite the movie's reputation, it is still worth a watch. Night Swim is notable for being the highest-grossing horror movie of 2024, with the film definitely finding an audience upon its theatrical release. Night Swim made $54.1 million on a budget of $15 million, meaning that the movie was definitely a success. Night Swim follows the typical pattern of Blumhouse horror movies, with the company releasing low-budget films that still manage to be profitable even with low box office returns. Despite the film's financial success, Night Swim got really bad reviews, with the critical response to the horror film seriously hurting the movie's reputation. It is possible that Night Swim could have gotten an even better box office return if the reviews hadn't have been so negative, as it was pretty unanimously disliked by critics. As of the writing of this article, Night Swim only has a 21% score from critics on Rotten Tomatoes and a 43% score from audience members. Why Night Swim's reviews are so negative? 21% critics score on Rotten Tomatoes. Due to the overwhelmingly negative reception of Night Swim, many viewers are hesitant to see the film, wondering why its reviews are so negative. Night Swim's poor Rotten Tomatoes reception can be chalked up to a lot of things, with the confusing story being one of the biggest factors. Night Swim also just isn't that scary, which is a grievous sin for a horror film. On top of that, the story of Night Swim is simply hard to take seriously, as a haunted swimming pool is an inherently goofy premise, one that the film attempts to take completely seriously. On top of that, bad writing, wasted acting potential, and unsatisfying payoffs lead Night Swim to be a disappointing watch for many horror fans, although viewers who like Under Paris may find something to enjoy out of the aquatic horror hit.